Let me begin with a simple question. When was the last time you truly noticed the older people in your life? Not just saw them, but noticed them. Many families say they seemed fine, just quieter. We thought it was normal aging. We didn't realize time was running out. The truth is, the body often whispers long before it stops speaking. And today, I want to talk about 5 subtle signs that may suggest an elderly person is entering their final year, signs that are oft ignored, misunderstood, or explained away. This topic isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to help you listen, prepare, and love more intentionally. A noticeable withdrawal from life is often one of the earliest and most misunderstood signs that an elderly person may be entering their final year. It usually doesn't happen suddenly, and that's why it's easy to overlook. The person may still be physically present, but emotionally and mentally, they begin to pull inward. Conversations that once interested them no longer seem to matter. They may answer questions briefly, avoid eye contact, or prefer silence over interaction. Family members often assume this is just normal aging, tiredness, or mood changes. But there is often something deeper happening. You might notice that they stop participating in activities they once loved, watching television, gardening, attending family gatherings, or even speaking on the phone. They may choose to sit quietly alone for long periods or sleep much more than usual. This withdrawal is not always linked to sadness or depression. In many cases, it's a natural shift. As the body slows down, the mind also begins to conserve energy, focusing less on the outside world and more on inner thoughts and memories. Emotionally, they may seem distant, even from people they deeply care about. They might not react strongly to good news or bad news. Some family members feel hurt by this change, thinking their loved one no longer cares. In reality, the bond is still there, it's just being expressed differently. The elderly person may be processing their life, reflecting on past experiences, relationships, regrets, and achievements. This inward focus can look like detachment, but it is often a quiet form of acceptance. Social withdrawal can also be accompanied by a reduced desire to make plans for the future. They may show little interest in upcoming events, holidays, or celebrations, even ones they would normally enjoy. Statements like "do whatever you think is best" or "I'm okay with anything" may become more frequent. These are subtle signals that they are letting go of control and expectations. What makes this sign so important is that it offers families an opportunity. Instead of trying to force energy or enthusiasm, this is the time to slow down with them. Sit quietly, listen without rushing, offer comfort without demanding conversation. Presence matters more than words. Recognizing withdrawal not as rejection, but as a natural transition, allows loved ones to respond with patience, understanding, and compassion, turning what could be a painful distance into a moment of deep connection. Rapid physical decline is one of the clearest yet most emotionally difficult signs families may notice in an elderly person during their final year. Unlike the gradual slowing that comes with normal aging, this change often feels sudden and alarming. Someone who was walking independently may now struggle to stand. Simple tasks like going to the bathroom, getting dressed, or lifting a cup can become exhausting almost overnight. Families often describe it as they just seemed to weaken so fast, and that intuition is usually accurate. This decline may show up through frequent falls, shakiness, loss of balance, or a noticeable change in posture. The person may walk more slowly, shuffle their feet, or rely heavily on furniture or walls for support. Even sitting upright for long periods may become difficult. Muscles lose strength, reflexes slow down, and coordination fades. What's important to understand is that this is not laziness or a lack of effort. The body is no longer able to repair and maintain itself the way it once did. Fatigue becomes constant, An elderly person may feel drained after the smallest activity, such as brushing their teeth or speaking for a few minutes. They may spend much of the day resting or sleeping, not because they want to, but because their body demands it. Breathing may become more labored. And recovery from minor illnesses or injuries takes much longer than before. In some cases, a single infection or fall marks the beginning of a steady downward shift. This rapid decline can be frightening for loved ones, especially when medical tests don't always provide clear answers. Doctors may say it's just age, but families sense that something more profound is happening. Often, the body is redirecting its limited energy toward essential functions. Slowly letting go of strength and mobility, this process can be unpredictable. Some days may seem better than others, but the overall trend is usually downward. Emotionally, this physical weakness can affect an elderly person's sense of dignity and independence. They may feel frustrated, embarrassed, or quietly resigned as they accept help they once refused. This is a time when patience matters deeply. Rushing them, correcting them, or expressing frustration can increase fear and distress. Gentle assistance, reassurance, and respect go a long way. Recognizing rapid physical decline allows families to shift their focus. Instead of pushing recovery at all costs, the emphasis can move toward comfort, safety, and meaningful presence. Supporting the body's changing needs with compassion helps ensure that this stage of life is met not with panic, but with care, understanding, and love. Loss of appetite and noticeable weight loss are among the most common yet misunderstood changes seen in elderly individuals who may be entering their final year. Families often worry that their loved one is being stubborn, depressed, or simply eating poorly, but in many cases, this change is neither intentional nor easily reversible. The body itself begins to change how it processes hunger, energy, and nourishment, and the signals that once triggered appetite slowly fade. An elderly person may start skipping meals, eating only a few bites, or saying they feel full very quickly. Foods they once loved may no longer appeal to them, even when carefully prepared. Some may forget to eat altogether, while others express no interest in food at all. This can be distressing for caregivers, especially in cultures where feeding is closely tied to love and care. Watching someone refuse food can feel like watching them give up. But often it is the body, not the mind, making this choice. Weight loss usually follows. Clothes become loose, faces appear thinner, and muscle mass decreases. This loss is not always dramatic at first, which is why it can go unnoticed until it becomes significant. As the body ages and approaches the end of life, it becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients, digestion slows, metabolism changes, and the effort required to eat and digest food can feel overwhelming. Eating may even cause discomfort, nausea, or fatigue, leading the person to avoid it altogether. Emotionally, the elderly person may feel pressure or guilt when encouraged to eat. Repeated reminders, pleading, or frustration from family members can unintentionally create stress around meals. Instead of being a source of comfort, food becomes a point of tension. This can lead the person to withdraw further or eat even less. It's important to understand that forcing food at this stage rarely improves strength and may reduce comfort. Loss of appetite is often part of the body's natural preparation process. As energy needs decrease, the body gradually lets go of hunger. While medical advice should always be considered, there comes a point when comfort becomes more important than calorie counts. Small portions, favorite foods, and shared moments matter more than full plates. Recognizing this sign allows families to respond with compassion rather than fear, sitting together during meals, offering food without pressure, and focusing on connection instead of consumption can bring peace to both the elderly person and their loved ones. In these moments, love is not measured by how much is eaten, but by how gently and respectfully care is given. Increased confusion or periods of deep reflection can be another subtle sign that an elderly person may be approaching their final year, and it is often emotionally complex for families to witness. Confusion may appear gradually, even in someone who has always been mentally sharp. They may forget familiar names, lose track of time, repeat questions, or seem unsure of where they are. Some days they may be completely clear, while on others they appear disoriented or distant. This fluctuation can be confusing for loved ones, who may hope the clarity means improvement, only to feel discouraged when confusion returns. This mental shift is not always caused by a specific disease like dementia. As the body weakens, the brain may receive less oxygen and energy, and chemical balances change. Fatigue, infections, dehydration, or even minor illnesses can temporarily worsen confusion. What makes this stage unique is that confusion often exists alongside moments of remarkable clarity and insight. An elderly person may suddenly recall events from decades ago with vivid detail, speaking about childhood, past relationships, or meaningful life moments as if they happened yesterday. Alongside confusion, many elderly individuals enter a period of deep reflection. They may think more about the meaning of their life, the choices they made, and the people who mattered most. To them, conversations may turn philosophical or spiritual. They may ask questions about life, death, forgiveness, or what comes next. Some speak openly about feeling ready or at peace, while others quietly reflect without putting their thoughts into words. These moments can feel heavy, but they are often deeply meaningful. It's also common for elderly individuals to speak about loved ones who have already passed away. They may mention seeing them in dreams or feeling their presence. While this can be alarming to families, it is not always a sign of distress. For many, these experiences are comforting and help them make sense of what they are going through. Dismissing or correcting these statements can cause confusion or emotional pain. During this time, patience and gentle communication are essential. Arguing about facts, correcting memories, or forcing logic can increase anxiety. Instead, listening with calm attention and validating emotions even when details are unclear can provide reassurance. What matters most is not accuracy, but connection. Increased confusion and deep reflection are often part of the mind's natural transition. As life slows down, recognizing this allows families to shift from fixing to supporting, from explaining to listening. These moments, though fragile, can become some of the most intimate and meaningful exchanges shared, offering a quiet opportunity for understanding, comfort, and emotional closeness at the end of life. Saying goodbye in their own way is one of the most subtle, emotional, and often overlooked signs that an elderly person may be in their final year. It rarely looks like a dramatic farewell or a clear announcement. Instead, it appears through small, meaningful actions and quiet moments that only make sense in hindsight. An elderly person may begin giving away personal belongings, jewelry, clothes, books, or household items, often saying things like, "You'll need this more than I will," or "Keep this, it suits you." To family members, this may seem like simple decluttering, but it is often a deliberate act of closure. They may also start offering advice unexpectedly, even on topics they never discussed before. Words of wisdom, life lessons, or guidance may come casually but carry unusual depth. Sometimes they repeat the same advice multiple times, as if ensuring it has been fully passed on. Alongside this, many elderly individuals feel a strong need to express gratitude or resolve unfinished emotional business. They may thank caregivers, apologize for past conflicts, or speak about regrets they carried quietly for years. These conversations can feel sudden and emotionally intense, but they often bring a sense of relief to the person expressing them, Another way this goodbye appears is through reassurance. The elderly person may repeatedly ask if their family will be okay, if things are taken care of, or if everyone will get along. They may worry less about themselves and more about those they will leave behind. Statements like, "You'll manage," or "I know you're strong," are often said with deep intention. This shift from needing reassurance to offering it is a powerful emotional signal. Some individuals say goodbye through increased affection. They may hold hands longer, hug more tightly, or look at loved ones with quiet intensity. Others become more reserved, choosing calm presence over words. Not everyone expresses farewell in the same way. Personality, culture, and life experiences shape how this moment unfolds. For some, goodbye is spoken. For others, it is felt. Families sometimes miss these signs because they are subtle and spread over time. Busy schedules, discomfort with emotional conversations, or fear of what these actions might mean can cause people to brush them aside. Yet these moments are precious, responding with patience, openness, and presence matters more than saying the perfect words. Recognizing that these behaviors may be a form of goodbye allows loved ones to meet them with honesty and compassion. It creates space to listen, to say "thank you, I forgive you," or "I love you" without rushing. In the end, these quiet goodbyes are not about loss alone, they are about connection, dignity, and love carried gently to the very last moments.